The most powerful stories come from the ones we see every day. Not every journey is loud. Some are quiet, raw, and still changing lives. This is Unformed, where real stories unfold. Hello and welcome to another episode of Unformed. Today I am sitting with the special unit. Sagar is a personal trainer in Dubai, and in today's conversation we will know more about his unformed journey and we will know more about why people call him the unit. So welcome, Sagar. I'm very happy to have you in the studio with me.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for coming. How are you feeling today?
Amazing. Looking forward.
Yeah, me too. To start off with, why do people call you the unit? And who came up with this? Can you recall or just...
Actually, Reese came up with this.
Yeah.
The unit. I mean, he's the ultimate OG unit. So, yeah.
So just before we start digging deep into the fitness journey itself, I'd like to go back to Sagar before fitness found you or you found fitness. So before coming to Dubai, how was your journey and how did you get involved in the fitness industry?
Actually, before coming to Dubai, I was a personal trainer. So, I've been working as a coach from last 14 odd years. But before that, I was just a normal kid. And I was actually overweight. I was obese. And I had multiple issues when it comes to growing up. So, I had a self-esteem issue. I used to stutter a lot when I speak to people. And I had a low confidence. And that was the phase of my life when I found out that working out is actually, it's like an escape where I can be myself. So that's how actually I started working out.
At what age was that, Prax?
Honestly, I wanted to start going to the gym when I was 14, but my dad, he didn't wanted me to go to the gym. I mean, he was under the misconception that going to the gym can disrupt your height as a kid.
Wow.
So he was like, no, you will not go to the gym unless and until you become 18 years old. So I was just jumping around, doing push-ups and watching Jackie Chan movies and Bruce Lee movies and trying to do this stuff. So that's how I started actually.
That's amazing. And after that, what happened? You became a personal trainer. How? Okay.
So my journey actually started from a very local gym, like a super raw gym. Like it's probably, it was very cheap. It's like 10 dirhams a month.
Wow.
Okay. So that's where I started going to the gym for a workout. And I used to spend hours and hours there because I had friends, but I had not many friends. So I used to stay there like 3-4 hours. So the person who was handling that gym, he said, you know what, you're spending anyways like 4-5 hours every day. Why don't you start teaching people? I will train you and you don't pay the fees. So that's how the idea of becoming coach started. And also, I had this one personal trainer friend. And to give you more information, I actually grew up, I actually come from a very lower middle class family. So going to a fancy gym was a big thing to me. And this guy going to this gym, training people, and what a fancy gym can look like, I had no idea. And one fine day, he took me to his gym to show me around. And when I saw, it's like seeing a 5-star hotel for the first time in my life. And that's when I decided, boss, I want to train people in this gym. I want to become a personal trainer. That was actually like the day when I decided.
Wow. And from that moment onward, you started coaching different athletes or different people to know more about the gym. How, what kind of workouts were you starting at the beginning? Because I see you around at the gym and you're very strong. Like you're an incredibly strong athlete in the gym. How did this all start?
See, now the kind of athlete you're going to become is everyone chooses that depending on what they feel is lacking in themselves. Some people choose to run, some people choose to lift weights, and some people choose to be flexible, like doing yoga. And for me, becoming the strongest was the only choice that I had in my, for some reason, I grew up watching, I mean, all of us grew up watching superhero movies, right? Adventure movies. And I always get inclined towards becoming more superhuman. I always had that in me. So I started lifting weights and I just wanted to get stronger and stronger and stronger. That's how I chose to lift more weights.
I love how you put it. And then you moved to Dubai a few years ago.
Yeah, that is a funny story, actually, moving to Dubai. So I was working in India for 10 years as a coach, and I actually came to Dubai in 2018 to, I'm going to be completely honest here, to create content. So what I did, I was working in the gym. I was working as an employee in a commercial gym for about till 2014. From 2009 to 2014, I was an employee of the gym. And then I decided to do freelance. And I actually started using social media for work in 2016, where I realized, social media is a very crucial part and I need to put myself out there.
This was still in India, not in Dubai?
Yeah, this was still in India in 2016. And how do I do that? How do I do that? So that's when I realized, when I saw the content on Instagram, it's like it has to be very classy. It has to be, you need to be cool. You need to be bro. People should look up to you and say, you need to be like that guy. So that's why I decided, you know what? I will try to find some leads in Dubai. I had few clients who were working in Dubai, and I just contacted them. I told them, you know what? I'll give you a free session. I'll come to Dubai and we'll have a workout together. But I'm going to use that entire content to showcase on my page. Are you okay with that? They said, okay. So I hired a videographer. I told him, bro, I'm not going to pay you anything, but I'll sponsor the whole trip, 7 days. So that's how I ended up coming to Dubai in 2018. And when I came here, I ended up meeting a bunch of people. And during that journey, I met with this one person who has a sports academy in Dubai. Not academy. He has a personal training academy in Dubai. He teaches people how to become a personal trainer. And through some connections, through some contact, he said, you know what, I'll offer you a job here. I was like, okay. I was very excited. I came here to create content, and I got a job offer. I became very excited. He said, you go back, you send me an email, and then we'll take it further from there. I went back and I sent him an email, no response. I waited for a week, no response. Waited for 2 weeks, no response. So basically, he ghosted me. And it hurt my ego, man. So I was like, okay, khalas. And in 2019, so what I thought, bro, I have a qualification, I have a degree. Why not I'm working in Dubai? And one fine day, I just decided I want to work in Dubai as a coach, and that's all.
Yeah. And it happened. So you started working.
It took me 1 year to find a job here, but it happened.
How did you find the fitness industry different in Dubai than in India?
Fitness industry different. One, it's very, I would say, commercial here. It's very transactional here. In India, there is a, here there is no concept of a general trainer. If you go to India, you will find a trainer for free in India, because there are like general trainers, like 7-8 trainers at any given point in India on the gym floor. And they can train you for free. Or rather, they do train you for free because it's a part of their job. And here, it's no concept like that.
But you feel that here they're more specialized in different fields, or you're talking about general trainers. So that means that in India, it's more of trying to introduce you to the gym generally, and here it's more focused, you would say?
No, in India, if you go to the gym, unless and until you ask for a personal trainer, nobody will, for example, in the gym, there will be 8 people, and every day there might be a different person training you. But if you want to train with one particular person, you have to pay extra for that, which is a personal training fee. Here, if you go to the gym, they will show you around and everything, and after that, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big difference.
Okay, that's amazing. And here, a lot of people, they go to the gym, and I'm sure that you train thousands of people until now with all these years. Most of the people in the fitness industry, they look for instant changes. They go to the gym mostly looking for hacks from personal trainers that I need to lose 20 kilos in 2 months, for example, because they see those amazing transformations on social media. What is your view on this one when a client reaches out to you expecting this transformation from a personal trainer?
So when I started my career, I had, I didn't had this option to say no to people. See, I believe not everyone can be your client. You need to first check how the person's thought process, whether it's aligning with you or not. Otherwise, first month, that person will become your client, and then it's just journey to more and more frustration, because he or she will not listen to you. You will get frustrated, and then you will just stand there and count 1 to 10, which doesn't make sense.
And you feel that what are the things that you're looking for a client that are essential for that person to progress on through time?
One, willingness to listen, willingness to believe, ask questions, but I would say don't try to mix two school of thoughts together, where you will just create confusion for yourself and you will not reach anywhere. In that process, you end up wasting your money, time, effort, and you also, the trainer also end up wasting his name, that he or she is not good.
And the thing is that people are looking for fast change. And most of them, I feel that when I'm having a conversation with a lot of people around, they're looking to always be motivated. So they're looking for motivation to drive them to go to the gym. What are your thoughts on motivation and discipline?
I would say this is the part of why people might get upset or angry with me for saying this, but this is a part of upbringing. If your family, if your culture, if your friend circle doesn't have a culture for movement, you will never be programmed in a way that you feel the need to move your body. Now, the fact that you need to find motivation to go to the gym, it means that one, you did not grow up with the values which of health, which there should be. And secondly, bro, you need to change your friend circle.
Did you grow up with these values?
No.
How did you make this
What
habit?
I did, I changed my friend circle.
Okay.
Okay. When I come from a lower middle class family, I come from a very poor family. Okay, I remember we didn't had a house to live in. We were basically living in slums for some part of my childhood, that I remember. But my dad worked really hard to make sure that we get out of that entire dark place, because so many criminals, or children become criminal in that.
You would say it was not the best environment.
Exactly. So I changed my friend circle, and that was, I think, one of the biggest decisions of my life. See, people say that you shouldn't be selfish. I say be selfish, but don't be selfish at the cost of others.
Okay. How were you selfish to change who you were into who you are at the moment? Because the way you built yourself from that person a few years ago until who you are at the moment, it took a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of strength, a lot of pain, a lot of change, a lot of effort. How did you manage to change the environment that you were in to who you are? Because yes, changing the environment is easier said than done.
Yeah.
But you trying to change your identity and putting who you are in front of, or who you would want to be in front of you, and work towards it, this is where it takes sweat and blood. So how did you manage to do that?
Man, it took a lot of things. It took not one, couple of heartbreaks. So my ultimate goal has become to create an impact in a way, I mean, in whichever way which I can. I chose fitness as a tool to create that impact. And if I want people to take my word seriously, I need to be someone. Now, this might sound that it's coming from a place of an ego, but I say everybody should and must have some ego to them, so that that ego pushes them to do what is right and what's not easy.
No.
Easy.
I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying, and I see that you put so much hours and effort into what you do.
Yeah.
And you reminded me of one thing that I saw, I read online. It says that when you really want something, you need to believe that this is something that you really wanted to happen, and you ignore the opinions of others, and you do so much volume that it's almost impossible for you to be unsuccessful. And that takes a lot of sacrifices from personal life as well, and the effort and the strength to show up even when you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with that? With a very, very strong cup of coffee after waking up every single day. And secondly, see, I believe every place has its own energy. So that is one. And there is something which I take very seriously. My work is my ego. I mean, the way I operate around people is my personal brand. So I'm working for Sagar. I always think that Sagar is a third person and I'm working for him, and I need to make sure that he needs to stand out every single time, whether I feel it or I don't feel it. I have to give it my best.
This is a beautiful way to put it. So you see yourself as a brand you're working towards. And how do you see Sagar as a brand?
Strong, confident, and a very excellent public speaker. By the way, I have a stage fear. Extremely. I mean, it's so bad that I can throw up. It's so bad. But still, I managed to do public speaking. Every single time I have to go somewhere and speak, even before coming here, there was a void in my gut.
Yeah.
Right? So because I was a stutterer in the school, that's why. And the reason I started creating content only and only because I wanted to kill that fear. So strong, confident, excellent public speaker, and I won't call it, I would call it a spiritual aspect, but I believe in doing good to people, to this environment. I believe that all of us have a responsibility to give it back to this Mother Earth.
You reminded me when you were speaking now about you seeing yourself as a brand. I've been reading this book, The Atomic Habits. It's one of the best books out there. The theory of the atomic habit is that you need to act like the person you see yourself to become, rather than you judging who you are at the moment. So let's say that I want to become a runner. I'm terrible at running. I have an open heart surgery. I can't run. I'm terrible at running. And for me to run a half marathon, after reading that book, I kept on telling myself every single day, I'm going to the gym and I'm a runner. I was so far from being, I hate running from the deepest part of my heart. And I kept on telling myself every day that, okay, I am a runner. And a runner would show up and run the kilometers that they have to run per day. And I feel it also affected all the parts of my life because I started showing up as the person that I want to be. Although I was not that person at this point. So I wouldn't say I'm bad at running. I'd say that I'm a runner. I'm a beginner. I'm a beginner at running, but I'm a runner. So I was defining myself, identifying myself as the person that I want to be. And this reminded me of what you're saying. Reminded me of this because you were showing up every day as the person that, or the brand that you set yourself to become as Sagar. I also know that you have a special experience with running because you did run the half marathon.
Yeah.
How did you come across that, and what got you to running?
Again, it's an environment. Before coming to WellFit, I was working in a different gym. And people around me, nobody was a runner. I mean, my circle was general, normal people. But when I came to this particular gym, when I came to WellFit, I saw a different side of fitness. I saw my colleagues, especially Reese, doing crazy shit, man. I was like, man. I mean, I used to tell myself, after doing deadlifts, it's impossible to run. But I saw this guy doing hundreds of repetitions of something and still go and run. See, you always need an example, right? I mean, for example, it was impossible to go to the moon until someone actually went to the moon.
Yes.
Yeah. And people went to the moon when, I mean, our phone is more powerful than the computers that time were, right? So you always need an example. So I started seeing these examples and I'm like, man, I gotta do it. And I started training this, one of my client, Lena. She's a crazy runner. And one fine day, she's like, why don't you try running with me? And that day, I was like, okay, I'll try. And then from that one sort of a running, it became, let's do a half marathon. What the hell? Why not? Let's do it. So that's how I started running.
But how was the beginning of the journey? Because I see you at the gym. You told me last time that you're still working on that aspect of running. So how did you start to work on it? And how did it feel when at the beginning you started running and you felt like it was not for me? It's not, because running has like their community. If you're a runner, because I really hate running, but I'm trying to love it. But running is hard.
It is.
It's disgustingly hard because when you're working out, you always get motivated by the people that are around you. When you're going in a class, it's the same. You get specific, let's say, techniques that you always practice. But in running, it's you and your mind. And this is the hardest point of it because it's more of mind against body when you're out there. And how do you deal with your mind when you really want to run, but it's a new experience?
So I don't remember where I read it, but there was this one particular statement. It said, everybody or every one of us has this one version of us, okay? And that version exists only and only at that particular level of exertion when you're like really dying, but you still keep going. That is the version. And you meet that person only in that period, right? And once I read that, something changed in my mind. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. And you just need to fine tune at what intensity you can keep suffering for the longest time. Running is all about suffering, right? How much you can suffer. People, I feel, fail at running because I was also failing at running purely because I was trying to run either too fast or too slow. But then I started discovering, this zone 2, zone 3, where you can you're dead, but you're not dead. You can keep going. And I think after finding that, it's very strategic. Mm-hmm. It became really not easy, but manageable.
Yeah. And what else have you started learning as well besides running? Because I see that you were telling me lately that in the last periods, you were trying to shift a little bit your training techniques.
Yeah.
So, and you're preparing for your first high rocks.
Yeah.
How is this going?
I would say this is actually fun. I mean, I never thought I would do something like high rocks in my life, but after doing marathon, I had enough confidence in myself to do something like this. And
do you feel you're another person? Because a lot of people that run half marathons or marathons, they tell me there's a person that is before the marathon and I'm a different person after crossing that finish line.
I agree.
How did it feel for you?
You become mentally tough. See, what I have seen in my entire life is that whatever wins that you have in the gym, it somehow translates in the other areas of life as well. Especially on the days, let's say, if you don't want to work, but after running a half marathon, I knew that I have the ability to deal with the hardest. So the life becomes easy, man. Physical pain actually teaches you that the problems you have in your life are nothing. If you can deal with this, you can deal with that. Come on.
So, do you believe mind over body or body over mind? Like, how do you shape your mind?
It's always mental. It's always mental. Your body is always ready to perform anything, and everything is always your mind. Always.
And how do you embrace that level of pain? Because when you were telling me that it's really you reaching a point in running that it's painful, or it's when you're trying to run really hard and you reach a point where khalas, like your body is not able to push through. How do you, I think the breaking point is for you to keep pushing through that mental threshold or pain threshold, I'd call it. How do you live in that zone, and are you getting used to embracing that pain level, or you feel that you got a trick already for it?
Yes, I got the trick for it already. See, if you can't, for example, when I started running initially, my shin used to hurt a lot. And then eventually I figured that if your legs are hurting, don't run, do cycling. Because ultimately, it's the game of how much endurance you can put it out there. See, it doesn't mean that if you're a good runner, you can be a good cyclist, but always you can use whatever endurance that you have gained in a different activity in
to
running.
Use it in running. Yeah.
So let your body heal, let your shin heal, and you go back to it again. And again, it breaks the monotonous cycle where every day you're just running. No, I'll do cycling someday. I'll do cross trainer someday. I'll do swimming someday. I'll just walk someday. I'll do incline someday.
So you're saying that you're using different types of movements to support the running itself, so you don't keep on doing repetitions that you hate at the end of the day for running. Sagar, tell me more about your content creation, because I don't know how you juggle between your very long hours at the gym and you wanting to be really present on social, and your content normally adds a lot of value. It's very insightful. How do you manage your time between both?
So before, I was creating content every single day. I mean, I became so good with it that in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I can create a piece of content.
And how is it changing now?
It is, I would say, it still requires me a lot of repeats. But one thing I have realized in this entire process is that the more you create that process, what is the word there? Hassle-free. The lesser the layers. I thought, I need a camera, I need this. I mean, I have got every single thing in content creation, but eventually I learned that phone is the best content creation tool.
So go simple.
Go simple. Reduce the layers in between.
Does this apply as well to trying to learn a new habit, to go very simple?
Make it efficient, man. Make it efficient. If you're trying to go to the gym, it's very simple. Just pack your bag one day night before. It prompts you to wake up and go to the gym. Maybe not today, tomorrow, day after, but it will happen. It's very simple.
So try to make the process itself much smoother. In your latest posts on Instagram, you somehow touched upon mental health and trying to, let's say, heal a little bit from burnout sometimes, and how movement is helping as well, and go a little bit softer on your body. Have you experienced burnt out in the last stages or the last times?
Many times I reached to a point where I felt like I cannot survive at this pace. But all it took, just sit at one place for 20 minutes, probably with a cup of coffee or glass of water, keep your phone away, just sit, be still, and you'll be fine.
And what led to that burnout?
there are so many things that I want to achieve, and there is so much less time. I'm a one man army. I mean, of course, I have someone who does the video editing. I have someone who will probably write the scripts for me. But again, at the end, all the decisions, basically the decision making for every single thing is what is burning out, because I have so many clients. So I have to take care of them as well at the same time, right? I mean, prepare their meal plans, supplements, this, that. So this is what.
So is it the amount of work that is required from you on daily basis, or is it the idea of who you want to be as Sagar that you're putting the pressure on yourself to do all of this at once?
I think it's both. Because, see, we live in Dubai, right? There is someone always cooler than you. There is someone always who is doing better than you, more than you. How is that you're going to keep up with them? This thought is what lead me to burnout eventually. And lately I've learned that I need to bring in clarity that what exactly I want. And also, the game of content is not like posting 30 days in a row. It's a game of decade. Can I do this for the next 10 years? Pick up a frequency and stick to that. Don't try to go like all out in one go. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Also, I feel that you definitely have a bigger impact as well in your environment, because when you started talking about your fitness journey, you told me that your dad did not believe that you should be at the gym at 14, 15. And this is a misconception of parents or older generation, not all of them, of course, but you find sometimes I hear very weird things, maybe tips, tricks, how to be thinner, you need to eat this specific food, but you know, what are the misconceptions that you really want to break or you want to shed light on that this is a misconception, please don't do it, because I see this as part of your content constantly.
If you're going to the gym for a weight loss, gym shouldn't exist for weight loss. This is the one biggest thing. If you lift, if you eat clean, I say follow the rule of 90-10. 90% clean eating, 10% fun. If you follow this simple habit in your day-to-day life and do whatever the hell you want on weekends, but those 6 days, 90-10, follow this, and you will never need any hack in your entire life.
So it's not about a hack, it's about building a lifestyle.
Building a lifestyle, yeah.
And you were talking at some point that you were going to the gym as a way of more to run away from something or to try to become a better person. I see a lot, or I heard a lot of people as well going to the gym because they're trying to find their safe space as men. And there's not often men speak about burnouts or even reaching rock bottom or hitting rock bottom. How do you see with the community around you of men, they're able to manage, or what is the percentage of men that go to the gym because they want to run away from something, or they need that support indirectly?
I would say, see, this is a very sensitive and a complicated topic to talk about, but women talk a lot. That's how they express, that's how they operate. Men talk less. And what I have experienced in my life is that if I'm going to speak up my emotions, that will be taken most of the times not in a correct way, right? So I feel men tend to have a very pent-up anger and energy towards anything and everything that is happening. I think that's purely because the way our society is and the way things are being looked at as, I mean, it's very sensitive for a man to show his emotions the way women can, because people around you can use your vulnerability to their advantage very easily. And for a man to show that he is capable enough to handle things, I don't think men speak enough. So I think going to the gym can become one of the escape where this is just me time, where you don't talk to anything, you don't talk to anyone
It
about
becomes
anything.
therapy
It
mostly.
it becomes therapy.
Yeah, and on that note as well, I think that we have a problem in the society that we mistaken strength. We mix strength and vulnerability because we always see that if someone is vulnerable, he's not strong enough. And I think that's a very big problem in the society. And I'm very glad that a lot of people are shedding light on this, especially for men, because all statistics show that men they let's say they have a lot of stress on them and they are much less likely to speak about it, and the suicidal thoughts rate for men is much higher because of that, because they're not able to express themselves. And it's heartwarming to see that at the gym there's a lot of communities of men that are supporting each other, because it's not really tackled a lot in the society. And I feel that although a lot of people speak about it, it's still a bit of a taboo. And I really feel passionate about just raising awareness on something like that, because it's not related to how strong you are, it's how human you are. And sometimes a lot of people, they need support, whether they're men or women. Yes, it's much easier for women to get the support because they communicate much better. But yeah, I mean, I'm very glad that you pointed about on this topic specifically.
Yeah, and I think a lot of men go to the gym to feel. See, in life, there are so many problems that can make us feel incapable, right? So going to the gym can make you feel that you can still believe in yourself, you're still capable. You just need a set of fresh eyes or a set of a fresh mind, or you just tackle the same problem on a different day. So to keep that rhythm going the way it should be, I think the physical activity helps.
Definitely. We're almost at the end of the podcast. I know it passed super quickly. It was really a nice conversation. I'm very happy that you are with me today. One last question before we end it. The idea of Unformed is to celebrate the becoming, to celebrate the journey of self-improvement. If you would fast forward 10 years, who would you, or what would you like to work on now? And how would you want to see the unformed journey of Sagar?
Actually, I think about it a lot in my head, where, of course, I'm strong and I have deadlifted 300 kilos. And I think the stuff that I'm trying to work on right now is my mental ability to detach from the outcome. So if I'm working hard for one particular thing, that should happen. And if didn't happen, it means that it's going to affect my self-worth. That is something that I'm really working on right now. That I'm trying to become a person who can see this world or observe this world without having a judgment in his head. For example, if I look at this cup right now, it's a cup, but there is no thought why this cup exists or something like that. So I'm trying to get my mind to that level where I can become an observer and not get trapped into the matrix where I'm constantly chasing something, and the life will pass by, but I'll still be chasing something better than the previous one.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. It's a very valid point, and I think a lot of people, they say the grass is greener always on the other side. So no matter how much you work on yourself, there's always something you would want to do, or there's always someone you're looking forward to becoming like them. I think it has its good and bad. because looking to better yourself, comparing yourself to someone better than you is always a little bit motivating, let's say, to push you to act upon something. But yes, definitely the relationship between what you do and your self-worth is very important, because when you talked about burnout, I believe that in my personal experience, I'm never burnt out from the amount of work. I'm burnt out when the work that I put does not match the output that I was expecting. This is where my burnout happens, because when I am putting my heart and soul into something and I'm trying to make it work, if it turns out, or the result turns out not as I expected it, this is when I feel a little bit like I'm putting effort and effort and effort and it's not happening, it's not working. And I feel that this frustration happens constantly because of that. And our conversations reminded me of this, but then I keep on reminding, it takes a lot of mental strength to remind myself constantly that you're putting it out there because you're bettering yourself. So it won't work the first day, the second day, the third day, the first month, second month, but eventually you will get there. And it takes a lot of mental strength to live that moment gracefully, if I may say.
Agreed.
Thank you so much, Sagar, for today. It was a very insightful conversation. Thank you for sharing the strength that it took for you to rebuild yourself from who you were and who you are at the moment. You're someone who's very positive, very hardworking. You show up all the time. You're inspiring a lot of people around you by just showing up and being there. Although there are parts of your journey that is still unformed because you're still working on it, this makes you very special, and that makes Sagar Sagar. And we're here to celebrate all of this. So thank you so much for opening up and sharing. It was a pleasure. And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Unformed.